Hello student, in this video we will study about the topic light. Light is a form of energy. Light is a form of energy through which we can see the things. So this light is coming out from the object. So we can say that object anything from which light rays radiate. So this object is subdivided into luminous object and non-luminous object. Luminous object and non-luminous object. So how we can define luminous object and non-luminous object? So luminous object is the light emitted by the object itself. Means the object creates its own light. Like example, we can take as sun, tube light, stars. So they create their own light. But what about the non-luminous object? Non-luminous objects are those objects where the light emitted by another source and then reflected from the object. So here example is our book, table, chair. Many examples are there. So let's understand how this work. Okay, means how we can understand the concept of luminous and non-luminous object with a simple example. Here is our sun. So as we just studied, sun releases its own light. So many incident ray will come out like this. So this incident ray, similarly if we take a table, or here we can take any object. Okay. So what will happen? The ray that is coming on the table is getting reflected like this after touching the surface. So if here is the eye, through this eye we can easily see the non-luminous object. But at night we can't see the non-luminous object, because to see the non-luminous object light must be required. Like at night we can't read the book because we don't have any other source, any other luminous body around us. We can't able to read the book. So that's why luminous and non-luminous are both the types of object. Okay, but in luminous we can Object can emit its own light, but in non-luminous object can't emit its own light. They need a help to get reflected. I hope you understood this point clearly. Reflection of light. So here, if we take any surfaces if I talk, we can define it into three parts: transparent, translucent, and opaque. So transparent means where light can easily pass through it. Like a glass. Translucent, where light can, or you can say that where a small amount of light can pass through it. And third is opaque, where no light can pass through it. Opaque, you can take plain mirror, wood. Opaque body we will use everywhere as a surface. Why? Because for opaque body, one side will be reflecting and one side will be non-reflecting. What is the meaning of reflecting and non-reflecting? If this is our opaque body, so what will happen? Down we are considering as non-reflecting surface. Means light can't reflect in that surface. So this is our non-reflecting surface. And the top one is reflecting surface. So if we take any incident ray that is coming out from the source, like let us assume here is a sun, and from here one of the incident ray is coming out like this. Okay, so this is the incident ray. How we can define the incident ray? A ray which comes out from the source, and source is here luminous body. After it touches the surface, we can form a normal. What is normal? This is our here a normal ray, or simply normal we can also say. So normal is the imaginary ray which is always perpendicular to the surface. So it means that if we change the angle of the surface, normal will also change. Means if I make surface like this is our opaque body. So in this case, if I take the incident ray here, so normal will be perpendicular to the surface. According to the surface, normal will always be perpendicular to it. That's the meaning of normal. The incident ray, that is represented as I, this is represented as N. So where the incident ray and normal meets, that point is called as, suppose we represent as P, this is called as point of incidence. So point of incidence is a point where normal and incident ray meet at a surface. So we can define it here, point of incidence, the point where the incident ray and the normal meets on the surface. When the incident ray touches the surface, it gets reflected. This is called as reflected ray. So how we can define the reflected ray? When the incident ray touches the surface, it gets reflected. This ray is called as reflected ray. Next is, as you see here, there is an angle formed between normal and the incident ray. It is represented as angle I. This angle I is called as angle of incidence. It is the angle between the incident ray and the normal. It is represented as angle I. Similarly, this is the angle R. So this angle R is called as angle of reflection. It is the angle between a reflected ray and the normal. It is represented as angle R. So we understood about incident ray, we understood about the reflected ray, we understood about the normal, we also get idea about the point of incidence, angle of incidence and the angle of reflection. How we can define the term reflection of light? So reflection of light, so it is a phenomenon where light bounces off a surface and changes direction. Means the previously the ray we did, what happened in that? We have a opaque body and from the source incident ray touches the surface. After touching the surface, it reflects back or it bounces back. This is the normal. So here incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal. So it is a phenomenon where light bounces off a surface and changes direction. It's called as reflection of light. Other definition of reflection of light could be the phenomenon in which the incident ray touches the surface and reflects. This is called as reflection of. So we understood reflection of light. Now there are few laws of reflection. First law is the angle of incidence, which is represented symbolically as angle I, is equal to the angle of reflection, that is angle R. So here we can say that angle I is equal to angle R. Second is the incident ray the reflected ray and the normal all lies at the same plane. So here let's get idea about both the laws. So the first one is the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So here it says that if we have the any surface, this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray, and here is our normal. If this is your angle I, this is the angle R. So according to the law of reflection, angle I will be equal to angle R. It means that if our I is equal to 45 degree, then angle R must be 45 degree. And this is a universal law. Means it doesn't depend upon the surface or any other circumstances. If incident ray and normal make certain angle, the same angle reflected ray and normal will make. So here one question I need to explain. A student has doubt in this. If we have an opaque body, incident ray touches the surface and reflected ray will bounce back in the same path. So what is the reason behind this? Why, when the incident ray is perpendicular to the surface, reflected ray is bouncing back in the same path. So here we can think like this way. We know that normal is always perpendicular to the surface. It means that normal makes 90 degree to the surface. And here in this case we are saying that incident ray is perpendicular to the surface. Incident ray is perpendicular to the surface. So here normal and incident ray both are perpendicular to the surface. So that's why in this case angle I will be 0. So angle I is 0. So what will happen? Angle R will be also 0. So in this case, angle I is equal to angle R and both are equal to 0 degree. So that's why a reflected ray will also follow the same path. So this question previously came in exam for 1 marks. So for better understanding, I explained you in this. Plane mirror. So mirror follows the reflection of light concept. So that's why we need to understand here the plane mirror. So we can write it plane mirror whose reflecting surface is plane. So basically plane mirror is like a plane surface, okay, where one side is reflecting and one side is non-reflecting. So let's get idea how the reflection takes place in plane mirror. A reflection in plane mirror. First example we take through a point source. Point source means, or point object means the object that has no physical extent. No physical extent means it's very, very negligible. So here, if we have a point P, which is a point source, and if I take a incident ray perpendicular to the surface like this. So as we previously studied, if this is the incident ray, then reflected ray will follow the same path. So what will happen? The trace of the reflected ray will come behind the mirror like this. Similarly, we take another ray. This is our another ray. So what will happen? Here we can make a normal. So we can follow the law. It will reflect. And then same, its reflected ray follows a path like this. So this is the object and here is the image. So the dotted line represents virtual image. It represents virtual image. Means it's not possible that the ray will pass inside the mirror. That's why we have to represent with a dotted line. And real image is always on the complete line. Yes. Let's take one more example. So here this is the second example. Extended source. This is our plane mirror. Non-reflecting surface. Here we are placing the object. This is the object here. So two rays we can take. One we can take easily with a parallel. So it will reflect back and dotted line will go inside the or behind the mirror. Second one, it will reflect and then it will meet here. So if this is y, so here we will find another y dash. So this was our object and this is the image. And everywhere we follows the law of reflection. Before I move ahead, I just want to explain you one thing. In the second law of reflection, I just want to explain you one term that is called as same plane. What is the meaning of same plane? Same plane means if you have x-axis and y-axis plane, so all the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal will lie in the same plane. It means that if this is the incident ray that is lying on the xy plane, this is the reflected ray that also lies in the xy plane, and this is the normal that also lies in the xy plane. So incident ray, normal and reflected ray all lies in the same plane. Means plane can't be changed. Like here you see, if this is the one of the plane, same plane is followed by the normal and same plane is followed by the reflected. Okay, let's continue to our topic. I hope you understood about the point source and the extended source. So here we noticed when we place the object in the one of the side of the reflecting side of the plane mirror, we saw the image is formed. So what is this image? How you can define the term image? It is a point where at least two light rays actually meet or appear to meet. Is called as image. Like in the previous example, you see this dotted line represents that image is formed at meet at p dash, but this is not the real image, it's a virtual image. So what is the meaning of real and the virtual image? So real image, if I categorize real image and the virtual image, so real image is formed when light rays actually meet virtual images formed when light rays appear to meet. So like the previous example, as you see here, what happened? Light rays are appear to meet because as I told you, behind the mirror there is no ray can pass through it. But we think that it could pass through it and meet at a point. So we can say that it is about to meet. It's not exactly meeting, but it looks like it will meet. So that's the meaning of virtual image. So we can say that the image that is formed here is actually a virtual image. Second one, difference is real image can be formed on the screen. Here, virtual image will not form on the screen. Can't form on the screen. Third is real image is inverted. And virtual image is erect. So what are the examples of this? I will explain you about the real and inverted. Okay. First, I just write the example. Example, we can say movie theater, candle on the screen, image formed by concave mirror. Similarly, example for virtual images, image formed by plane mirror, or convex mirror. So here I need to explain you about the erect and inverted. So here, see, if I have an object, this is the head and down is the tail. If I put up mirror, any mirror, if I put, suppose let's take example of plane mirror. So when we put the plane mirror, so what will happen? Object is formed behind the mirror, and here head will be on the top and tail will be on the bottom as the object looks like. There is no change in the head and tail of the object and the image. So this type of image is called as erect. So this is erect. Fine. So you can simply write up of the object will be up for the image, and the down of the object will be the down of the image. So when this criteria is fulfilled, then it is called as erect image. Another example, if we take a candle, here let's take a candle, and here if I put a screen, this is simply a screen. So what we notice on the screen, that the candle image is actually formed this way. So here what happened? Up becomes down and down becomes up. So basically the image that is formed is inverted image. So we can simply say that if any object, if any image which is virtual So it must be erect. If any object that is real, it must be inverted. That's why the projector we are using, or even in the movie theater, big projector is there. So the reels are in the inverted way. So on a screen, it shows complete picture in a proper way. So that's why projectors are hanged on the ceiling, or it is a reverse order. So that's why the image will come in a proper sequence. I hope you understood this point. Characteristics of image formed by the plane mirror. If there is a plane mirror, then definitely it follows some type of behavior. Okay, so that we can consider it as a characteristic of a image formed by plane mirror. So there are few characteristics of plane mirror. First characteristic is plane mirror always forms virtual and erect image. Second, the size of image is equal to size of the object. It means that whatever the size of object we are taking, if we are taking 10 centimeter, so the size of image will be also be the 10 centimeter. Like when you stand near the plane mirror, whatever the size of the object will be there, same size of image is formed when we are keeping it near the plane mirror. Third is the distance of object from the mirror is equal to the distance of the image from the plane mirror. It means that if we take a previous example, like this example, we can consider so here the distance of the object and the plane mirror, let us assume it is u. So the distance of the plane mirror and the image is v. So this u and v both are equal in distance, means u is equal to v. This is the meaning of the third statement. And second statement means if you remove this point charge to an object like this, so image will come here. So height of object will be equal to height of image. Means height means its size will not change. That's the second property, second characteristic. Now let's go to the next characteristic, that is the plane mirror shows lateral inversion. What is the meaning of lateral inversion? So lateral inversion it is a phenomenon in which the right side of the object appear left side of the image. And vice versa. Let's take an example. Commonly, when we are going out, we might see the ambulance. So the ambulance, if we write, it should be written in this way. But when we see the van, so we notice that this A that should come front, it goes to the end. And it is written here as A. Then M is written like this. Then B. Then U. Then L. Then again A comes. Then N. Then C. And then E. So it is written like this way. Why? Because if any person is driving a car, so through the rear view mirror, if the person or driver will see the ambulance, it will be written in the, it will shown as a proper ambulance word, or else they will not able to read it properly. Okay, you can do experiment at home. You take any alphabet and go near to the mirror, so you will see that the alphabet gets reversed, left becomes right. Even basic example is, if you put your suppose this is a mirror and here is a person standing. If a person raise left hand, suppose a person raise left hand, so in the mirror it will shows right hand. This phenomenon is called as lateral inversion. I hope you understood this lecture. In next lecture, we will study about the spherical mirrors. Thanks. If you have any doubt, you comment me in the comment box. I will try to help you.